As we explained in the first session of the last time, Keshe Foundation is what we call a space program. We have attained knowledge to be able to work and to function the way the universe does. We have gathered enough knowledge that we can create conditions of flight without propulsion. And these have been tested in different ways and different forms. And the beauty with the new flight system is what we call one integrated system. One integrated system is that now is very different than what we call the present propulsion technology. One integrated system means that everything you need, like planet Earth, is provided by one integrated, functioning what we call a flying system, which can feed you, which can look after you in space, which can fly you, and very much like a planet, working independently. This system is what you see on your screen in a very simple way. And it is when the system
recording in progress.
When the system flies and shuts, within this seat as a passenger, you don't need to wait for the food or for fuel or for medicine. The system, through its integrated principle, flies, creates a gravitational magnetic field positioning in respect to its point of destination, while its flying creates a field of the energies which we call food, which is available by the body, it's available to the body for the body to take. And if in the course of the flight you happen to become sick or deficient in one thing or another, which can lead to misfunction of the physicality of the body of the man, it'll provide the same system. It's a balancing system. It's the first time a flight system which interacts with the soul of the man, which means we call it psychosomatic, with the psychological part of the body of the man, which we will not see psychologically damaged, what we call future space people in the work. This system is not theoretical. A large number of this system has been sold, and as of November of this year, you will see these around the world. The system has in its structure, has a sister unit, which is for producing material, but in this system exists, and gives us a new opportunity in space travel. The production of these systems are so simple that you can fly from any position in the world. We are in talk with the authorities, and very soon we will hopefully achieve licensing to test fly these very soon. We have opened a center in city of Linz in Austria, where you can see the system. And for the first time since last year, we had to move because of the corona. It becomes what we call the new space center with a new space technology in the city of Linz in Austria. the machinery and the systems and other systems which are within the structure of this design will be is shown. Next Saturday is the opening of this permanent exhibition of the new spaceship technology, and we can see new dimensions in flight. We have announced, and we hope with the present understanding, we will be able to fly on the 6th of June 2022 on a space excursion to moon and back within 24 hours. You got to realize we are not burning fuel. You got to realize there is no need to worry about what is next, as one integrated system allows us a lot of new opportunities, allows us new dimensions. And as we open this Spaceship Center next weekend, and we have a number of what we call our knowledge seekers from across the world traveling to be with us, we start a new era in the world of the space program. Our what we call new premises is located in a way that we can take flight from our center. We don't need a runway. We don't need what we call every other rig mount which we have with the present technology. Any one of us can become an astronaut, or what we call cosmonauts, or whatever knots you want to be in it. And gradually we expand the knowledge of the man beyond the present time. We have tested these systems over 10-15 years in different shape and form, and now it's time for man to test. The beauty with the Keshe Foundation is we are independent. No government can restrict us. No government can control us. We are independently financed. And in so many ways, we are what we are due to the way the Keshe Foundation operates internationally. We are answerable to no institution. We are not answerable to no what we call government. And we are totally financed by the Keshe Foundation and the way we have set up our structure. We make agreements with different governments, and in so many ways we operate within the structure of the what we call scientific boundaries. The beauty of the new technology is that we can fly from anywhere. Our centers are what we call the bedrock of knowledge, the bedrock of new space technology. This is the new Keshe Foundation Space Center, which we are, where you see the UFO in the orange color, is where we are placed. And from this center, Keshe Foundation will endeavor to open the new space technology in conjunction with other universities around the world. We are not going to be, we are already within the structure in this area, and we don't need any licenses in a way because they cannot detect us. If you look on the edge of this system, you can see the land which we have is about 10,000 square meters, which allows us to do a space flight test directly from the premises. We have a microphone open somewhere. Can you close the microphone in the background, please? Thank you very much. And we can literally fly from this with this ground. The taking off and landing is very much like a helicopter. You don't need a space point. You travel, you land on the same place, and as we are in this structure, we can manage everything. This is not the dreams anymore, because we have kept the inner structure of this exhibition totally shut down with everybody who's around us, that next weekend we will show it to public. In so many ways, mankind has entered a new era. And at the same time, out of the spin-off of this new technology, we see new programs, new what we call directions in science and technology. We see the existence of changes in agriculture. In this exhibition, for the first time, Keshe Foundation will release an unseen unit. This unit is very simple. You have a broken arm. We put your arm through the system, and simply, if this is your arm and you have a fracture in the bone structure, at the point of fracture, at the moment it takes you a month or two to recover, putting it in the plaster. By creating a new system and understanding of it, we create a field within this environment that the process of the reconnecting the fracture, building the bone, should take anything between 1 and 12 hours, depending on the extent of the damage. While you go to the hospital nowadays, and it takes you so many hours to what we call take an X-ray and then wait for your plastering. Once the fracture is done, the doctor puts you in the system, and the time would have taken your plaster to dry, your bone is literally reconnected. You walk out without. These are not dream systems. These are the systems which are already going through the test, and we have tested. You will see in this exhibition what we call unknown sciences, which now is getting tested by Keshe Foundation and knowledge seekers around the world. To what extent we go? We don't go and design a new entity. We take the present systems in the world, and then we adopt our system and build it in it. There is no time to become unique producers. There's no time to become something that it might happen. We take the present designs, we take the present technologies, and we expand on it. We see how we can use it, how we can, in a way, function within it to create a condition of use in the new technology. We are a common user. In a way, what this means, it means we use the technology of designs by others to be able to deliver the new materials. For example, what you will see in the exhibition center is known as a universal vision unit. What does universal vision unit means? The universal vision unit has the capability to allow you, if you are blind, to have the vision within minutes, within hours. This has been done this many times. Now we developed what is known as a universal vision unit. By sitting in this unit, both the way it's designed, we trigger the neural system in the eye, neural system in the brain. We trigger the soul to see that the eye follows. We don't heal. We don't treat. A man, even a physical blindness, has a reason. And we enhance the soul of the man, which is within the structure of the brain of the man, to want to see, and the vision follows. And any physical damage you might have through the brain damage, losing sight, through any other processes, by going to this machine, you will find the process. Sometimes it takes 2-3 weeks, but we follow the step by step, especially with the eye. We don't rush with it, because systems, neural systems have to be built, connected. And we have people which, through accident, even having a titanium skull, we have reached their eyes and we given their visions back in our trials in China. We done instantaneous recovery of sights, which you can see. So in a space, we won't find men and what we call human beings, which are limping because there was no plaster, or they're blind because there was an accident. The new space technology is integrated. And in so many ways, we see evolution in every aspect. We produce systems which are applicable and doable by any man on this planet. At the moment, in conjunction with the Iranian authorities, the first systems, which just the result has come in yesterday from our Iran International Keshe Foundation group, with positioning magraphs in a pharmacy to show to the government, they have saved nearly 60%. And the first time you will see this. These are the new Iranian systems, which is now getting marketed in Iran. And it's a Keshe Foundation product. And as you see on the left side is Iran National Oil Company cooperation with the Keshe Foundation in bringing in a way to recover the energy shortages in the country, where even if we can support 50% recovery, allows the nation to come back into production with less what they call power energy problems of today. And as we've seen in the past couple of months, the energy crisis in the West is building up again. These systems, the factory has been bought and now is going into production as we used to produce in a what we call different ratio. We expect to produce up to 10,000 units a month in the coming weeks. These are all owned by Keshe Foundation International as one lot. And we change the knowledge, bring the knowledge to make it applicable. We see the new dimensions in the application of this technology. In northern Iran, we have entered into agriculture using this technology, where we see massive changes in harvest, where the farmer sees 2 to 3 times more production in between the two lands, where this is the land which, as we can see, no gas is being used, and this one is the other way. This is our work. This is what we are praised to be, and we are proud to be in this part of the business with what we call the Keshe Foundation work. We see the beauty of it, increasing the harvest, increasing the understanding of the technology, and at the same time being able to what we call change the direction of the farmers, where the farmers don't need to worry about harvest, worry about pesticides, worry about fertilizers. Where we have seen in Iran double rate growth in wheat for the winter wheat. Now we are in the rice production season and we see massive changes in our system. We now are in the same trial, some 30, 40 trials in China, where Keshe Foundation, through the trials in past 3 years, showing we can increase the harvest of the rice by 3 times. Now we are getting supported by the Chinese national government in a massive financing of the trials of what we call the products of the Keshe Foundation in China. And as many of you are aware and seen us around, we have opened and we are in the process of completing what we call the structure of one of the largest Keshe Foundation factories in the city of Jinjiang in China, with the collaboration of the Chinese government, to produce and introduce this technology in a rapid way around what we call China. We have built a center with the support of all our knowledge seekers in China, and it's an impressive, what they call factory. It's all laid out, and it is in process of already gone to production, and we see a change in the course of what we call agriculture. I want to show you this to see. This is one of the pictures from our harvest of the autumn, winter, what we call wheat. The one on the right is a natural process, two brothers. The one which is the smaller has used the traditional wheat production. The one on the left is the use of the new technology. Two brothers, one using the gas and one using fertilizers and everything else. And you can see the change in the harvest. This is a revolution which will bring China out of need for wheat, for grains, which China imports 40% of it from outside. China will be self-sufficient from grain with 2025, 2026, with use of this technology. Because we triple the weight of the wheat. We produce a grain which is more or less at the maximum. This grain at the moment is in the hand of Iran Natural, what we call the Office of the Government's testing to see what is the change in the grain. In China, we showed the protein from 11 to 12% has risen to 20%, which is a maximum. We expect the same results from Iran National Research Centers. This is our new factory in China, where with the support of national government, CPC, and the national security of China, we open a new dimension. We've been in China for a long time, and I spent 2 years in China testing, developing with the Chinese government. This one, as you see, this is a present system in agriculture installed in Austria, in Europe. We install our systems inside the farms, where for the pigs and the grain at the same time. We brought the technology at the reach of every man. And this is the beauty of the new science and space. But there are other things which you have to consider. With the new, what we call space technology, when we land, we don't need to wear a suit. We don't need to become those who are trapped in and we see the sand from beyond the glass. With this technology, we create a field which can span kilometers. We can create a field that can create a condition of the man to walk within the tent of the field. We have tested this in a very massive way, and the Keshe Foundation Research Centers in the coming weeks will show this. What we see today and what we showed you in agriculture, for example, a field like this, tens of thousands of meters, we need to create a condition of what I call the beauty of Creator to rain upon, but the right way. Which means today, when a farmer plants seed, he waits for the rain. He buys fertilizer. And hopefully, if Monsanto and the American government have not got to the grain, he will have a harvest. And as we've seen in India in the past years, where the Monsanto has got to it, the farmer commits suicide because what he gets cannot pay for the seed and the fertilizer, because by tradition, we always collected the same seed and we sowed it the next year. And then we had a food for us and the family to eat. With Monsanto, every year you have to buy. You become a slave to the American government, American investment. With this new technology and the research which is going on with Keshe Foundation, we create a condition that rains upon the land containing the fertilizer and containing material will reverse Monsanto interference. These tests are very advanced, and the Keshe Foundation, as we are opening our centers, will release these technologies to be tested by governments. We create a condition that, like, as we said, the generosity of the Creator, we receive what we call the rain, but this time the rain within it carries everything the plant needs. We see a rapid growth, reduction in harvesting time by 1 month at least or 2, which allows the farmer to harvest second harvest, to allow us to grow. We see the change of environment, that in the winter, as we've done in Mongolia, in China, still wheat grows under the snow. The beauty of the new technology is we have made it available to every man. We are there irrespective of color, race, and religion. And knowledge seekers around the world work on this way. We work on understanding that the knowledge has to be free at a point of demand by those who need it, and we share knowledge openly. And this is not working with a lot of governments, because where are going to earn their money from? Our extent of factories are very beautiful. We mass produce in a very rapid way. Our factories in China are extensively involved, and in the production of the what we call design, we produce thousands of liters a day. So we can reach many people. We can reach the farmers. We use the material to what we call to become part of the new era in technology of space. We have conditions, we have created conditions for governments to be able to look. The Keshe Foundation technology as a whole is on the table of peace negotiations with 5+1. Technology in exchange for peace. We offer this technology. It's on the table with His Eminence Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran to call it in. If and when they decide at what point of negotiation we enter. In a way, we have reached a point of mass operation. In our factories, as you can see, we are all fully computerized. We don't need to wait one day to come. This is one of our factories in China. We produce in massive quantities. Keshe Foundation has become a power in space technology, in agriculture, in medicine, in the environmental area, in production of new materials. In coming time, the space technology will bring new advantages for us. In a way, what we use to rain upon the man, fields to grow rice better with whatever he needs. In the new future city of what we call a spaceship city of Iran, which will be announced very shortly by the Keshe Foundation, in this city, we don't feed no one. We use the same technology. People within the city of the Keshe Foundation Enhancement Center are fed by the energies what they need. We do not use open hospitals. It'll be the only city without any hospital. We have what we call service areas. If you break your arm, as we showed a few hours in, if you have a cancer, we can handle it as an outset that you don't get to the next time, the environment carries a new technology. In a technology of what we call keeping the man at peace. Technology that does not allow 70%, 80% of the cancers we know as a psychosomatic to grow. The energy fields, the system technology allows for you to handle the reason for the cancer. In a very recent trial, we have shown this. And in a very recent trial, we have shown the patient does not even need to be within the city. We can reach manifold space in deeper space with a new development. And we have done so, and we will do so accordingly in understanding the totality of the knowledge of the creation. As I said many times, when we look at Earth, there is no wings, there is no jet engine, there is no rocket propulsion, there is no factory making CO2s, and there is no factory making vitamin Ds, and there is no factory making a cat, or making a human, or making a wheat. In the interaction of the process of the fields of the creation and the creator, we are created. The planet is created, revolves for billions of years on its axis, creates day and night. At the same time, with the interaction of the fields, creates the oxygen and the vitamins and the rest of it. And now, with the understanding of the new structure of the working of the universe, we have done just to replicate some of it. And we see this process extremely effective. It's been tested some 20 years. And as I said, the emergence of the Keshe Foundation technology is the biggest burden on the back of the nations who created war for what we call food, controlling everything else because of it and through it. Now no man can die of hunger. It becomes impossibilities. It become absolute impossibilities for anyone to die of cancer, because we are not theoretical. We've done many cases. These systems have been tested through and through, and we see a change. Governments oppose such a rapid change. Governments cannot see all the investment they've done in guns has become useless. We show the military defense of this technology in January of 2020 in Iraq, where the American base was wiped out without them even being able to shoot or fire a single missile. We opened the tent the way we opened the tent in a space for you to live as you're on earth. The rest was at the mercy of their stupidity of understanding there is more to life than fighting. As we've seen after the incident of 2020, when President Trump said, we're not doing anything and we lost no one, we see rapid withdrawal of the American forces around the Middle East, because the technology in the hand of the peaceful nation has forced the most aggressive nation for war to withdraw. You cannot see us when we come. You cannot see us when we go. And we can even move within your brain. The technology is so advanced that the way we interact with your soul, we can interact with your soul on a peaceful way. And governments in the West know what sits on the negotiation tables in 5+1 in Vienna in the coming weeks. We're standing by. I don't know upon instruction of His Eminence, the Keshe Foundation will move in. Technology in exchange for peace. City of Linz is less than 200 kilometers from Vienna negotiations. And we see how generous will be, that how new technologies will be. His Excellency President Biden has said in the United Nations speech this week that new technology is needed, because they know the Keshe Foundation technology is on the peace and it'll be a way to close what we call the Vienna talks, immediate withdrawal of the sanctions from the Iranian nation in exchange for the technology which is within the boundaries of the Iranian nation. We can reach Washington from Tehran in less than 10 minutes. They have no technology to detect us. We can land hundreds of thousands of Iranian soldiers in the White House. They have no technology to detect us to stop it. The way the base in Iraq was wiped out. They watched it from their satellites. They watched it from their drone. They could not even talk to their base officers. This is the third time which this power was shown to the Americans, and this time they understood there is more to the new technology. Russian satellites videoed it, how the base came under fire, and they could not do a thing. And the reason President Trump said we don't do anything was because one of the most advanced bases in Iraq was wiped out. And how could they sell arms when they cannot protect their own base? And the present withdrawal of Americans from Iraq, from Saudis, cover protection last week, from Afghanistan, is part of the same process of new technology exchange. But we have to understand the Keshe Foundation, technology is for peace. And you will hear more and more about us. There is a ban by Fox International since 2012 that nothing can be reported on no television station about Keshe Foundation or news because of what we call conflict of interest with certain governments. But it has not stopped the Keshe Foundation to grow within the structure of the nations. Some 300 to 400 million follow the Keshe Foundation work around the world. And they test it from the presidents to the peasants. They all work with it. We are effective in Corona. We have delivered technologies which saves lives, and in Iran we work rapidly, but government does not allow us to enter into the arena of the delivery of the technology due to what I call Ayatollah Rouhani, the ex-president of Iran. He was involved heavily in bribery, in bringing vaccines into Iran, and in that process, now the new present government will realign this process, and we see how we go back in being able to deliver technologies which bring all of us out of this mayhem of what we call Corona. If you go on the internet and look at one cup, one life, just put one cup, one life. You make the cup in less than an hour. Use a copper wire from the house and a cover of a battery. Make the material, drink it, breathe it, wash yourself. Even in the last stages of death, you will recover. We had a very recent case. We've seen people with Corona, how they have changed and how they have evolved and how they become themselves fit by just supporting themselves. You don't need to die because of Corona. The time is past. The knowledge is there for every man to save their lives. The mayhem of Corona is man-made directly by those who benefit by $30 per injection into their private accounts. That's what every president and prime minister at the moment earns from Corona injections. $30 in their private account. That's why all the presidents are supporting it. It's the wealth in the pocket of the world leaders. And they don't care. But you can save your life with less than $1 and test it and do it. Go on the internet, look at what is known as one cup, one life. Make the cup, and then you understand how correct the Keshe Foundation technology is. Give it to your brother, give it to your child. It's a plain water you drink, but it carries the plasma of the universe and allows you to become another man, to become survival of the deep down, what we call in space, we have many kronas. In a space, krona, what we call the viruses, are the only thing that we all catch. We don't have bacteria, we don't have viruses, but we have plenty, no bacteria, but we have plenty of viruses. And we have to find a fundamental process that every time we get hit by a new virus, we don't create a vaccine. We understand what the viruses are. And we bring that understanding in creating a system which can interact with the virus. We never understood what the viruses were up to now. Now we do. Now we can. Now we handle the viruses as we handled the normal flu, the normal infection. In this process of new technology, today knowledge, none of you, none of your family, none of your nationals should ever die of corona. Go on the internet, learn it, teach it, and share it. That it takes 1 hour and make a unit, share the unit, and see the change. See how you can bring a simple process in new space technology into work, and how you can bring new balances into the understanding of what we call new life. It takes less than $1 to save a life from corona. And it's been well tested in what we call in Iran and around the world by many, many scientists, by many people, common men, which have given this to what they call their people. At the moment, we're running a massive test in Iran with an orphanage where the children of Iran in these orphanages with what we call problems of what we had, handicap, mentally handicapped, 100 handicapped children in one orphanage in Iran. Since Corona, beginning of Corona, Keshe Foundation, people moved into this orphanage, mentally handicapped, left by their parents behind the door or left with no support from infancy. We took in, we went in. We went in to help with Corona. And in that process, we learned a lot. What we learned by providing the new system with what we call, with our technology, we gave really our support to this center. 100 mentally handicapped, majority in what we call in beds that due to the mental handicap, they could not be going anywhere. Physically handicapped, because that's how they came to the orphanage, and they kept here till the age of 14 in this orphanage. And then they moved on to another orphanage and are looked after. This organization has over tens of orphanages like this across Iran, looking after the handicapped children. We moved in to help to see if we can help these people with corona. And since our interfering or entrance or evolving to be there with the permission of the heads of the center and the organization, the center has had no COVID. The center has no COVID with any of its what we call orphans from age of newborn to age of 14, and nor even any of the staff have had COVID. The other orphanages of the same organization across Iran averages 80% plus infection and death. But in the process, once we got involved, we tried to cover the whole orphanage with our health application. We started looking after these 100 children through the Keshe Foundation Knowledge Seekers in Iran by providing them the edge of technology in the background. These children, more or less 100% of them, are born in Pampers and leave the orphanage in Pampers because they have no psychological valuation of when they wet themselves. In 12 months, huge number of the children don't even want Pampers. The orphanage beds are empty as they are coming off the beds and becoming what we call active. We have 100 live test trial. It's the first time we release these pictures in public. These beds, all 100 of them, were full last year. Now the children in the video which will be released by the Keshe Foundation, you will see them on the playgrounds. Education system for these children has started in Iran. They would not be a burden on the nation. They walk, they play. They don't need Pampers. In the new technology, we grow the brain. We allow the functioning of the brain. It costs less than $1 to change the life of a child. And this is what the new technology is. We are not theoretical. What we say, we do, we deliver, and we see. The children who used to be in boxes like kettles are playing in the gardens and in the buildings of this orphanage. Our new problem in this orphanage is we have tens of children who need to be educated, who have known nothing about the true life. We don't inject. Yes, we don't inject. We create the condition of the environment to deliver. Very soon, once we open the other structures in Iran, we'll invite world doctors to come and see, to come to this orphanage, to be in touch. Somebody's microphone is open. I hope I have given you an insight into what to come to your nations. What is to come and will bring the change. And thanks to the knowledge seekers around the world, in a short time, as we will expand the knowledge, we'll find more ways to support humanity and each other. But we got to realize the time of what we gathered and created so much death and mayhem is over. It doesn't cost millions, and you don't need to be a professor or what you call a scientist to understand this technology, to get into it, to be part of it. Most of the knowledge seekers are ordinary people on the street because they understand the technology in a simple way. They apply it. They deliver it to themselves for themselves in the time of need. The farmers are using it themselves to bring that change. And the beauty of it is free. If you understand it, you can do it. It's the knowledge of the Creator. And we haven't seen any banks and charging offices, by God, anywhere on this planet for us to pay for the air we breathe, for the water we drink. And we have made this technology the same to all of you. It's what will bring the changes is important. What will allow us to bring the changes is important, how we do it. And at the end, I'll show you a few pictures which will bring you home and to understand very quietly and very quickly. This is the new system, which like a sun sits in the center. And with equipment within the center, within this machine that closes, this ball becomes like the sun. And with the interaction of the systems which is built within, we can produce copper, zinc, and gold. We've done this, and the materials have been tested by the German and Austrian laboratories. We understand the process of creation. We don't need to mine anymore for our companies and factories around the world. One machine gives you the best material you want, the way the universe has created the materials in the world. This is again our exhibition center in Linz, which has moved to a new position. This is what we call the enhancement for body. The sick person inside, within a few sessions, no cancer, you can walk home. We just done this in the past few weeks. This is our center in Arizona, which will come the interacting phase between the American NASA scientists and the Keshe Foundation of Iran. This is where our home is.